notice some changes of our equipment here. As I mentioned, that this room may not be that much of a worship place by design, but our brothers and sisters have been working very, very hard to turn this into a wonderful worship place, right? And so now we have 2 TV sets here, over the back, one over the back, so that both sides can see the screen. And then also the control room. Now Amber will be sitting lonely there in the back. Say hi, Amber. Yeah, all of these are part of brothers and sisters' effort trying to make this place more welcome, more friendly, and more convenient for us to worship, so that we can focus rather than being distracted by the not functioning equipment, by the lack of provisioning. Instead, we can just focus on one thing, right? From the beginning to the end of the worship, that we just focus on our Lord Jesus Christ. So we give thanks to God, and especially this Thanksgiving season. I pray that we are not just being thankful only this one day a year, but rather we are constantly being reminded that we need to be thankful. It's all about the perspectives of life. And when we are constantly counter those things that don't seem to come our way, we look at things that we don't think to have, but feel entitled to it, our life will trouble us. And yet, as Helen Keller said, right, I often cry for being without shoes until I see someone who is without feet. And then that brings perspectives how fortunate we are. And I pray that this is a group that we are constantly being thankful to our Lord Jesus Christ, and thankful for all other brothers and sisters whom He has called to serve here, and that we will benefit from other people to serve. All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, in this Thanksgiving season, our heart is reminded how many blessings He has bestowed upon our life. Lord, help us to calculate, to count them, to record them, so that our heart can be impressed by the blessings that is on earth and also heaven above. Make us a person who is grateful to You for our salvation, for everything that You've given us, and grateful to people whom You have called to be around us, to help us grow, to care for us, and also for us to care. Through caring them, that we also grow in maturity and spirituality. Thank You for everything that You have arranged in our life. Every event, good and bad, they are full of Your blessings, Your goodwill. Help us to be grateful and then to be submissive. That we just will You, and then with great spiritual sensitivity that we are walking on a path You have prepared for us. Open our spiritual eyes that we may see where You are. You constantly besides us. But unfortunately, we are so busy and so bogged down by the things that's happening, and then we forget to sense and enjoy Your presence in every moment of our life. I pray that Taiwanese Service Church, TLC, truly a church that is tender, loving, and caring. And this is a church that's full of brothers and sisters who are grateful for their Lord and Savior. So now I pray that You work in our heart while we contemplate Your wonderful act, Your sacrificial love. Our life can be touched, and then we can live out, and we can live a life that is different. And transform the life is all we pray. May Your name be lifted high in our worship, and may our heart be transformed by Your mighty power of the Word. And I thank You. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. When I was serving at SDSU Bible Study Group, that was 30-some years ago. When I arrived in this country, I just came here to study, and I was just being led to that group. And then since then, I've been serving there for more than 10 years. Right? And then it's a still Bible study group, and all those who came are mostly graduate students. So one time that we are on the subject of the gospel. Okay, and then I remember one of my Christian fellow Christian brothers who was leading, or sister, she was saying that the gospel is about someone who died. Gospel is a good news, but it's about someone who died. And immediately, a single friend, a student, is just saying that, what kind of good news is that? It's about somebody who died. And then the Christianity is full of this anti-cultural message. It's paradoxical. On the one hand, it seems to be a tragedy. It seems to be a tragic ending of somebody's life who got nailed on the wood, who got crucified on the cross. But on the other hand, it was indeed historical, the most wonderful good news of humanity, and that's Jesus Christ, who died on the cross as a Savior. Why did such a thing happen? Why is there such a thing that the God will come on earth and then die on the cross? Humanity has fallen. Sin separates a human from God, and no one can extricate themselves from their sinful condition. The Bible makes it very, very clear. No one can proclaim to be righteous, to be right in God's eyes by being good, or being always good. Even though you attempt to, even though you try, how good is considered good? The Bible says no one can be called righteous by observing the law, because the standard was too high. We didn't realize that true righteousness, the standard for being true righteous, the standard is basically God's standard, and then basically that's a description of him, and then that was too high for us. And therefore, we read earlier Galatians chapter 4, verses 4 to 5, right? It says, but when the fullness of the time came, God sent forth his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, so that he might redeem those who were under the law, that we might receive adoption as sons. This passage makes very, very clear the purpose of Jesus Christ coming to the world, or we call incarnation, is to redeem sinners from this predicament, this condition that a human cannot get out by their effort. And also, whoever believes in him will be received by God as sons. If our God is the King of a king and Lord of a lord, we are called his son and daughter, and that makes us princes. Prince and princess. Therefore, that we see that God's purpose, right, by sending his Son. The cross, that's the central part of Jesus Christ on earth. This is not a tragic failure of a successful career that turned bad, that turned south. No. It is an entire focus of Jesus' life on earth. Everything that he did, in fact, is pointing to his cross. Now, all human beings, right, when they write their biography, or memorial, all of these are focusing on the life of that person. It's only the Bible that is focused on the death of Jesus Christ. And then if you look at the all four Gospels, right, they all devoted a huge volume just to describe the last few days of Jesus Christ on earth. And then Matthew has 33%. That entire Gospel, 33% is about Jesus' death. Mark 37, and John has a 42%. Why is that? Because the Bible says that the wage of sin is death. And in that situation, that predicament has to be solved not by human beings, not by themselves, but by the eternal God. And therefore, Christ endured the death. And that is supposed to be the wage of our sin, the consequence of a sin. Sin always brings forth consequences. Whether you feel it immediately or you feel later. Sins always bring forth consequences, and the most serious consequence, that is eternal separation from God. Our life has no part with God. And then that's the serious situation, and therefore Jesus has to bear the wage of a sin. He bore the curse of a sin that sinners should have borne. And therefore, the essence of Christ's atoning work is to take sinners' place. And then that's my focus today, the death of Jesus Christ. Now, in the past few weeks, right, we have learned quite a few things about Jesus. We know that he existed before the creation of the universe. He's the Messiah, or Christ in Greek. He's the Son of a living God. And then he incarnated in human form, born of a Virgin Mary, and then born like his brethren in order to make atonement for the sins of humanity. And then today, I'll be focusing on his death, the meaning of his death, and next time, I'll be focusing on his resurrection and then exaltation. Right? We cannot talk about Jesus' death without talking about his resurrection, because this is part of a wonderful act, a wonderful plan of God. So what is the meaning of Jesus' crucifixion? Some people believe that Jesus died like a political criminal, and then those who are not in the faith, many of them believe that's the case. He was executed by Roman judicial system. He attempted to start a political revolution, but it failed, and then paid for his life. And there are others who believe that Jesus died as a martyr, who paid extreme price for the ideology that he held. And there's still others believe that the death of Jesus is exemplary for his sacrificial lifestyle to human beings. But are they the true meaning of Christ's death? And then I want to share with you there at least 5 aspects of Christ's death. This is what it means. And then here appear on the board that are all these words that you probably constantly heard it in Sunday schools and in Sunday service. Some of them may seem quite similar to you, but there are differences. They represent 5 different aspects of Christ's death: ransom, redemption, propitiation, reconciliation, and then a substitutionary sacrifice. I want to expound them one by one, okay? So that we can be impressed upon the true meaning of Jesus Christ. First of all, ransom. The suffering of Christ is kind of a ransom. In the Old Testament, a ransom is used to exchange in exchange for a slave's freedom. Isaiah 45:13. And therefore, the death of Jesus Christ can be seen as a ransom to redeem sinners from the slavery of sin and death. Now, we are slaves of our sins and death. And Jesus came, offer himself as a ransom so that we can be redeemed, we can be freed. Objections, right, will arise against this theory as, why is there so much trouble? Can God just forgive? What do you think? Why does Christ have to pay? Isn't he God? He can forgive anyone he wants. A sin forgiven without a justification violates God's righteous nature and forfeits his duty as a judge. He's an administrator of the judicial system that he can actually violate his own rule, right? Let me give you an example, right? Let's say, I don't know if I give this example before, but just bear with me. Let's say Felicia, right? Felicia and I, we were childhood friends, very good friends, right? And then we all grew up, and then Felicia became a judge, and I became a criminal, right? And then I just had trouble with the law. I steal, and then I broke the law left and right. But one day I got caught, and it was sent to Felicia's court, and she has been presiding as a judge, right? You know, Felicia saw me. She said, "Oh, this old-time friend is being very nice to me." And then now he's in trouble, right? He's gonna pay a huge fine. I say $10,000 or something. He couldn't even afford a place that he can sleep, and they're not mentioning $10,000, right? So what can I do as a judge? Can I forgive him? Can I acquit him? You know, thinking about we just let him go, right? So we're done. No, if she does that, she violates his role, his duty as an administrator of the judicial system. Right? She forfeited her role as a judge. And this is eventually what she did. She continued to fine me with $10,000, but she will pay for that. So that the grace and then the law are both fulfilled. The requirement of righteousness and then the grace are all fulfilled by that. Christ is like that. This movie, Ransom, this is an action-packed drama that came in 1996. That was a long time ago. I still remember my wife and I went to Poway and watched this movie. Starring Mel Gibson. Now Gibson's character, Tom Nolan, right? He is a rich airline owner. He was shocked by the fact that his son was kidnapped. Right? But he's willing to pay $2 million ransom. But because the drop of the ransom goes wrong, his son died. So Tom turned the ransom money into a bounty on the head of the kidnapper. The movie, inside the movie, there's this famous line that probably gave them the idea of the movie title. The line is, "Someone is going to pay." Someone is going to pay. How many of you watch this movie? Okay, that's got to be old enough to know about this movie. This is exactly what the word ransom means. The word means that someone is going to pay. A ransom is a price paid to free someone from captivity or from punishment. And then when we think about ransom in Christianity, in our Christian faith, we think of ransom as a deliverance. It is a deliverance for us from our sin and its penalty. And that's exactly the meaning of Christ's act on the cross. He died on the cross. He offered himself as a ransom for our sins and our penalty. That was ransom. The first meaning, first aspect of Christ's death. Second, it is a redemption. What is redemption? A redemption is something that releases a slave from bondage. Say you redeem someone, right? You pay for some price and you redeem someone from and given freedom. That is a redemption. And according to the Bible, Christ's work is a redemption of sinners, because they, sinners, whose Christ's act brought them back out of slavery and into a new life of freedom. We read from Romans 23 and 24. All the sin and fall short of the glory of God. But in Jesus Christ, there's a redemption. The blood of Jesus, which Jesus Christ shed on the cross, effectively released us from the bondage of Satan. And so we were free. And then, so the meaning of Christ's death is that of redemption. Now, how many of you listened to Dr. J. Vernon McGee, his radio show Through the Bible? He spent decades in the radio show, just from Genesis, teach from Genesis to Revelation, and then repeating many, many times until he died. So he has told this story. He said it was in those days before Civil War. The crowd was gathering in a public place for a slave auction. Now, in this crowd, there was this obscene, loud, and rough man by the reputation of the meanest, cruelest, most hateful man around. soft-spoken tone. And it was recognized as the most kind, gentle, and gracious man. Now, stood in the auction block was a young black girl, about 20 years of age. Her dress was old and torn. She was obviously filled with anxiety and fear. Now, the bidding began. The loud, obnoxious man began to bid. And then when this kind gentleman saw that, saw the black girl's fear, so he too placed a bid. After a few rounds, soon that only those two men were involved in the bidding, as the price for the girls gets higher and higher. Finally, this evil man bowed out of the bidding effort because he realized that the price is too high for this girl, which he is willing to pay. Now, when the auctioneer closed the bidding, and then the kind gentleman paid the price for his purchase, he was offered this bill of sale, and he turned to leave. The young girl started to follow him. And this gentleman turned around and said, "Where are you going?" And she said, "You just purchased me. You are my owner, so I'm following you." But the gentleman said that, "Lady, no, you misunderstood. I just paid to give you freedom, not to make you a slave." She said, "I don't understand. People pay to buy a slave and then to bring home the slave. And then you have paid to give me freedom?" And the gentleman said, "Yes, freedom." The girl said, "Does that mean that I can do anything that I want?" He said, "Yes." And then he immediately took out this bill of sale, and then it cost the paper, he wrote "free," and then he signed his name and gave it to the girl. "Does that mean that I can do anything I want now?" He said, "Yeah, anything that you please." Then the girl said, "All my life, there hasn't been anyone who's so kind and loving to me. If I have the freedom to do anything that I want, then I want to serve. It is my freedom to serve, and then my joy to serve you, who is the most loving and most kind person I've ever seen." So from that day, she followed Abraham Lincoln and went with him and to become his joyful and willing servant. Now, this story, I'm not quite sure, it may be allegory, but it has amply described what it means by Christ's death as a redemption. It tells the story that our slavery to Satan and sin, the cruel intention of the enemy of our soul, right? Satan, right? Like this cruel man. And then he held us in slavery. And he has a mean intention. But the gracious purchase, right? At the incredible price by our Lord Jesus Christ. Not to make us his slave, but to purchase us so that we may have a freedom. With that kind of a love and kindness, right? Think about the black girl's response. How can we respond in any other way than to say, "If you love me that much, I will serve you forever"? That will be the response, the rightful response for every man and woman, boy and girl who has been saved by Satan, but freed by Christ's redemption. If you love me that much, I will serve you forever. That's ransom and redemption. And number 3, propitiation. Now, propitiation, this is a big word, right? We don't use it in our daily life. In pagan Greek literature, this word, elastanian